right, everybody, so welcome back. Thanks for watching. So, hitting strip. This is how I'm going to install my hitting strip. So if you watched my last video, my 5x5 CCE mat is freaking durable as hell. I love it. You can rotate it. If you get the wear spots, you just turn it a quarter. And I love the idea that you can actually put the driver tees here where you don't have to worry about fetching your tees flying all over the place. But the downside of the CCE mat is it's just so damn hard. I mean, if you put your finger in here, I don't even have up to my first knuckle in depth in here. So if I'm trying to hit down with an iron, if I go any further than 1/8 of an inch or maybe 1/4 inch max, you're going to get some pretty good gyrations up the elbow and up the hands. So I decided to go with the Easy T Hybrid. It's 12 inches by 30 hitting strip. Watch out, Murph. And this is it right here. So I just got it in today, and I'm going to show you guys how I installed this, okay? So this thing, put your finger in here, and I have, almost 3/4 of an inch or an inch depth where if I hit my iron down, it shouldn't grab nearly as much as a CCE mat. The only thing that's a little bit off is the height, okay? So the CCE mat roughly is about 1.5 inches, and this says about 1 1/8 inches. So this is going to sink down probably just a hair, a little bit lower. We'll see when it gets in. Worst case scenario, I can put a little filler underneath it, just like a little extra pad, a little riser pad, something simple to do. But let's get this thing cut out and let's get this thing installed, okay? I want to put this pretty much in the center of my 5x5 here, and I want to keep my tee here available for use, of course, and I don't want to keep it really close like that and obviously cut too close to that. So I'm thinking about right in here. Obviously I'll do the measurements and make sure it's all centered up. And so we can still utilize this for the driver, the tee for the driver, which I like, and it's nice and centered this way, and I can still have plenty of room for my stance for like my 3-wood hitting off of this. So this should be perfect. And you can utilize any of this space to hit your irons on. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm going to do. So let's take you up here to the sawhorses. I'm going to flip this CCE mat upside down, get some measurements, and cut this square out, this rectangle out, and we'll get it inserted. All right, guys, so now I have the CCE mat upside down on a couple sawhorses here. So it is 12 inches by 30. Double check. Mark that on 1. Yep, 30. Make sure we're centered this way. I'm on 7, right at 7. It's pretty money. Mark that 1. 12 inches. So just like that, fellas, and I'm just going to take a razor or a really sharp-ass knife here and just cut that pretty straight as I can. And then we'll theoretically flip it back over and punch this in from the other side, pushing it down. All right. All right, guys, making a switch to the knife here. It cuts through frickin' like lead. I just walk it down that line, right where I've already made the cuts. You know, guys online talking about how it just cuts like butter. Well, I wouldn't say butter. Say it's actually fairly forceful to cut, but I'm also not using a Dremel tool or something Okay, one line done. Huh. Cuts like butter, huh? Just like that. If you guys can see, this bottom section right here is all foam, cuts pretty easy. And then there's this line right here that looks like, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe just less. Pretty hard plastic they have to cut through, okay? All right, let's flip this thing back over and put the insert in. Want to make sure that all these bristles stay out and not get pinched, squeezed in, so, and then knock it forward. It's going to be a tight fit. I might need to trim just a little bit more. All right. Okay, so there it is, fellas. I do notice, though, that I am a little bit more depressed here. So, you know, we're talking maybe 1/4 inch. And I kind of thought that was going to happen because of obviously the height difference of this being 1 1/8, CCE being 1 3/4 almost. So I do have some padding I'm going to put underneath to kind of bring this up a little bit, just to kind of square it off, because that's just too much of a drop depression for me. So take this back out. We'll fit a little, let me show you. This kind of foam pad. Put that in there. Pretty much level as can be right there. Okay. So I think this is about 1/4 inch. Might be 3/8 or 1/2. But anyway, that'll bring that up right to level. So let me cut this out, get this in there, and I'll show you all that. All right, 8-inch strip and a 4-inch, just because I couldn't cut them in the exact same. Get that guy in there, that guy in there. Yep, just a little too tight. So I'm going to have to cut just a little bit. Yep, let me trim just a little bit of this off. But everything else looks freaking great. Okay, shearing of the edges here. You know, I'd rather cut it a little short. I mean, as far as the hole, I'd rather cut this too small than too big and be too loosey-goosey. So, and I definitely cut it a little too small, but that's okay. You can always cut a little extra out now. Problem is, if you cut it too big initially, then you got too much space and it slides around. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I mean, that looks pretty damn good. That looks pretty damn good. All right, fellas. So there we have it. Pretty damn even across the board here. I mean, I got a little bit of a lip here. This might be just a skosh too tight. So I may end up just trimming just a hair off that back. But man, I mean, that's all just solid. And now I have over an inch of, you know, room to hit down and get that angle of attack down. All right, fellas. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me show you one thing up close here. All right, fellas, just to show how even this came out. I mean, look at this. Look at how even that is. You can't even tell. You can't even tell that there's another mat here. That just turned out perfect. Let me hold this camera up just a little bit. But look at that. Look at that. It's a money install, fellas. Money install. All right, hit me up down below if you got any questions. See you next time.